Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praises, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachach, Wadash. Double honors unto our elders and apostles of GMS the Great Millstone who teach and will well. Shalom, shalom. All right, and shalom to the 144,000. All right, and those that are scattered abroad. All right, and the rest of the elect. Shalom, shalom. This is Brother Nabala here with a lesson. All right, this here is an article that I came across. All right, I actually seen it on IG. All right, so I kind of wanted to kind of fact check it, see if there's any other articles about it. And so I had pulled this up. All right, and it says that U.S. troops failing drug test on purpose to dodge Trump's wars. It says shocking silent protest claim. All right, and we know, in the book of Jeremiah, all right, it talks about, that they have forborne to fight. All right, meaning they have lost their will, they have lost their courage, all right, to fight for this country. All right, and meaning that you see that the troops are actually out there in the Middle East actually getting slaughtered, man. All right, Iran is really doing a number, all right, on these Babylonian troops, all right, and on these Israeli troops, man. All right, they're putting it out there, that there's less casualties than what there really is. All right, and these soldiers see that. All right, these soldiers see that Babylon is full of shit. All right, they see that they're fighting a war, that has nothing to do with them. All right, they're fighting a war, for the small hats, man. All right, and it's pretty much just it's pretty much them going to war is pretty much it's a suicide. In other words, man. All right, but regardless of the decision, all right, they're going to be sent out to the Middle East. All right, and that's according to prophecy. All right, they will be sent to the Middle East, man, according to the book of Joel. All right, but let's get into this article here, man. And it says U.S. troops failing drug test on purpose to dodge Trump's wars. It says shocking silent protest claims. All right, it says here, it says claims that the U.S. troops are failing drug tests on purpose by using marijuana. All right, and what some have called a silent protest against potential deployments in Donald Trump's military engagements have circulated widely on social media. All right, and it says the allegations surface as concerns grow over possible ground operations in Iran following recent joint U.S. Israeli airstrikes and ongoing counter narcotics missions in the Caribbean. It says Pentagon officials has issued no comment on the specific claims, which remain unverified as of March 23, as of the 23rd of March 2026. Right. So you know, the Pentagon, they issue no comment on the claim. All right, so they're saying that this is unverified, but I can believe it. I mean, it just it would make sense to me. Why, you know would they go fight a war that has nothing to do with them? You know, but this is it says it's been unverified, but I believe that this is actual thing. I believe that these troops are actually failing this drug test, man, to keep them from going to war. All right. It says the rumor gained significant traction following the Instagram post by the account Knowledge Dome One, which reported that some individuals linked to the armed forces may be deliberately failing tests to avoid deployment during tensions associated with the president's strategy. All right, because Donald Trump, he's from what I've read, is planning, to go in and send troops on the ground in Iran. All right, and it says the post described the idea as a silent protest. It says noted it has sparked debate across platforms about discipline and moral. Comparable messages have appeared on Facebook groups and threads where users speculated that troops are smoking weed to force administrations to charge rather than risk involvement in what they see as unnecessary conflicts. All right. So, like it says here, comparable messages have appeared on Facebook groups and threads where users speculate troops are smoking weed to force administration discharge, man. All right. So this is just it's on more than one platform, man. So this has to be true, man. If it's popping up like that on more than one platform, man, this has to be a thing that's going on, in the military. All right. It says while these accounts emphasize the absence of verified evidence or organized campaigns, the rapid spread illustrates how quickly unconfirmed stories can influence a perception of military readiness. It says experts note that during the periods of geopolitical tension, such narratives can spread rapidly, often reflecting public sentiment, frustration, rather than actual conditions on the ground. All right, so hey man, I can believe this. All right, even though this says unverified, all right, whether even though it says that the claims are unconfirmed, I definitely can believe this, man. Because I've seen videos, on TikTok of soldiers saying they won out, and coming from out their mouth, you know. So this is this is something that I believe is taking place, in the military. All right, but the scriptures also say, that these men were forborn to fight. All right, and this is actually said in the scriptures. All right. So with that being said, man, I pray that this lesson is edifying, and I'm gonna pull up a few scriptures. All right. Let's get the book of Jeremiah 51, 51 to 30. It says the mighty men. It says the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holds. They have remained in their holds. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken down, man. All right. So, these soldiers, man. They pretty much, they don't have the courage to fight, man. They don't have that will to fight for America anymore. Because, like I said, man, they're fighting a war that has nothing to do with them. All right. That's pretty much, they go out to fight, man. That's for Babylon the Great, for America. That's suicide to them, man. All right. And once and you get shipped off to the Middle East, man, you're not coming back, according to the scriptures, man. You're not gonna come back, man. All right. So, we're starting to see, the military, become weak, all right, become feeble. We're starting to see that, and we're starting to see, these soldiers, all right, turning their back, against Babylon, man, not wanting to fight, and not wanting to fight and go to war for them. All right. Um, let's drop back to the book of Jeremiah, 49. All right. And this gets into the prophecy of Damascus. All right. And you could, liken Damascus today, as Babylon the Great as well. All right. Damascus is one of the, Damascus is the capital of Syria. All right. Um, so it says here, where's it at? So it says the prophecy against Damascus. It says concerning Damascus, Hamath is confounded and a prod, for they have heard evil tidings. It says they are faint-hearted. There is sorrow on the sea. It cannot be quiet. It cannot be quiet. All right. So Hamath and prod, man, they heard pretty much that judgment was coming towards them. All right, destruction. All right. It says it says Damascus is waxed feeble and turneth herself to flee, and fear had seized on her. Anguish and sorrows have taken her as a woman in travail. All right. So that's pretty much how these soldiers are here in Babylon. Are getting, man. They're getting feeble. Or they're getting weak. All right. Fear is coming upon them. Anguish is coming upon them, man. All right, because they know if they go to the Middle East, man, they know their fate, man. They know that they're gonna get killed. out there, out there in fighting for this war, man. All right, against Iran in the Middle East. Now, if we read it in the NOT, um, or actually, let's continue to read on here in the KJV. It says, "How is the city? How is the city of praise not left? The city of my joy." It says, "Therefore, her young men shall fall in her streets, and all the men of war shall be cut off in the day," saith Yahweh Shema Shah of hosts, man. All right, all the young men, all the young men that are going out to the Middle East, man, are gonna be put to death, man. They're gonna die, man. All right. Now it says here in the NOT, it says her young men will fall in the streets and die. All right, that's exactly what's getting ready to take place, man. Once this draft takes place, once they send those ground troops into Iran, all right. Once that war takes place, a full blown war takes place in the Middle East. It says her soldiers will be killed. All right, and it says Yahweh Bashim Al Shai. It says Yahweh. It says Yahweh, uh, heaven's army, Yahweh of heaven's armies. And it says, "And I will set fire to the walls of Damascus and will burn up the places of uh Ben Hadad." All right, but the point is that these soldiers, man, here in Babylon the Great, all right, are getting weak, man. All right, they're the fear has came upon them. All right, they're getting feeble. They're losing their courage. They no longer want to fight. All right, and they got their reason, man. All right, but ultimately, man, it's prophecy that they're gonna go out, all right, to the Middle East and get put to death. All right, that's just what it is, man. All right, um, and just to kind of prove that, man, that once they get shipped out to the Middle East, they're about to be through. They're done. All right, so let's get the book of what is it? Second Esdras. Let me see. Or is it 15? Let me see. Second Esdras 15. Slovakia. Where's second Esdras? Is second Esdras 15 and is it 30? No, let me see. Slovakia. Oh man. Hold on, let me look this up real quick. Slovakia. Second Esdras 16 to 33. Slovakia. Second Esdras 16 and verse 33. And it says here, the virgins shall mourn having no bridegrooms, the women shall mourn having no husbands, their daughters shall mourn having no helpers. It says, in the wars shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. You see? You see? So hey, no, you can't, you can't blame these troops, man, for not for doing that, man. Failing these drug tests not to go out to war, man, because ultimately, they're gonna be put to death anyways, man. But they see out there in Iran, that they're getting slaughtered, man. Especially according to the Iranian news, man. All right, a lot of these troops are getting put to death. All right, and these Babylonian troops, man, they don't want to fight a war that ain't got nothing to do with them. All right. Now they're questioning what are they really fighting for, man. All right. They especially you got a lot of these jakes, man. You got a lot of jakes in there, that signed up for the military, man, just for the benefits, man. All right. And they had no idea what they're gonna get themselves into. All right. But ultimately, this is what it's gonna come down to, man. All right, uh, um, them getting put to death, man. All right, perishing in wars. You see, and there's gonna be a lot of men perishing from famine. All right, those that don't go, they're gonna perish here in America from famine, man. All right. So let's read that again. Second Ezra 16 and 33. It said, "The virgin shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the woman shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers." It says, "In the wars shall the bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish in famine." You see, there you go, man. All right. So, I'm not surprised, about this. I'm not surprised that, this is, taking place, if it's even taking place, if it's verified or not. It makes sense to me, that these troops are actually doing this, man. All right. So, but at the end of the day, man, it's according to what the scriptures say. All right. And ultimately, the scriptures, say in the book of Jeremiah 51, what is it, 51 and 30, as we just read, that these mighty men were foreborn to fight. All right. So, with that being said, I would like to give our praise, honor, and glory due to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rachak. And once again, double honors to our elders and apostles of GMS Great Millstone who teach and rule well. This is Brother Nabala. To the next lesson. Shalom, shalom.